Hey everybody, Jay and Nichole back with another episode of the Learning Lab. This episode actually is our February wrap up. We're gonna do a Hall of Fame nominee. We're gonna pile on the wall of shame and kind of review what we did this month. Nichole?
Yes, so it's been an interesting month. I think we came up with a new investigative topic series. We've talked to Yan again with what was that fun class? We've had an agent come on. So I think it's been a very interesting month with a lot of changes and I don't know, pretty interesting topics, I thought. Could have been
Sure.
just me.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I want to highlight something. I had some stability problems with Fun Class early on,
Yeah.
and they have really the experience is much smoother now. It is much smoother now.
Yeah, I do remember you complaining about that because we talk about everything, and
Right,
I remember you had a specific set of students you had brought on just because of that platform, and it was very
right.
frustrating for you. So that's
Yeah,
good to hear.
yeah,
I
it
was
was good.
really impressed with her CTO and the improvements because we did a behind the scenes talk later, and
Right.
a lot of the roadmap that they have for the future and the improvements they've made, especially with the like payments and integration with schedules. And
Hmm.
it's to the point now where a teacher could just walk right in and not need to have to worry about a website. It's there, everything's integrated. If I
You
was
use
starting over again, I would and I'm a branding coach, okay? So I would actually have skipped the entire website if I wasn't doing any adults.
right,
And it has everything you would need and you could use it for branding because it's basically like almost a landing page for you.
right. You could um you could pair that with lessons from like Katie's A Bridge Academy
Yep.
or Teachers Together English,
Yep.
and you're ready to go. It's going to
Yeah.
cost you a little bit of money, but spend the time, set up a website, get your payments all figured out, get a scheduling software. You're going to end up spending the same money. You're going
And
to end up and spend a lot less time doing it with Fun
well,
Class.
yeah, and that's the thing because if you think about it, because I was, me and my analytical brain here, I was thinking about it going, well, yeah, but I have to, because I have, that 2 terabyte plus
Hmm.
almost three of material curation that I have. So that's why I don't pay for the other monthly subscriptions for materials that are really good right now. But back in the day, they weren't available, right?
Right.
So, but now, if you walked in, you paid for the fun class and you paid for even just the two that you mentioned, right?
Hmm.
Katie's A Bridge and what was the other one? I forgot the name again.
Teachers Together English.
That's right, Teachers Together. And he did show me both. They're actually pretty sweet. If I paid for just those three things, I would have paid a lot less than I pay when I first started on a shoestring
Hmm.
because you have to pay for Zoom if you have anything
Yep.
over 40 minutes. And a lot of classes are at that 45 or 50 minute.
Right.
So unless you want to cut off every 30 minutes and do a break, so that's annoying. Plus, with all the new features Zoom has, like the AI stuff, and it's useful. And then you have to pay for materials or source materials or figure out how to piece together materials. You've got it all together for a really easy
Yep.
price. Just log in and go. And they're interactive with the platform now because the
Right.
co-browser, which is not the same as screen share, which I had to learn myself, because I couldn't wrap my brain around that one either. I'm just saying, I know I'm touting it, but if I was to start over again,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I would do. I would get a platform like Fun Class
Mhm.
and the
Or
two
Koala
curriculums.
Go. Or
Koala
Koala
Go,
Go.
yeah,
Yep.
Koala Go is another one, um, and the two curriculums, and you're off to the races. Like there's
Right.
literally nothing else to do.
Yep.
They've made
You're
it very easy and manageable for teachers to get up and go.
And then all you have to do is go find your students. You don't have to mess around with a web page because it takes some time to set up a web page. And mine, I haven't looked at mine in a couple
Well,
months.
you don't
I
have to
don't even,
deal with the schedulers. You don't have to
right.
deal with all the back and forth. I mean, you just, I mean, Google
You could,
integrates with it now. You give them your Google Calendar link and it books, or they have their link there, and
you're going to be able to accept payment on Fun Class. It's
It's
You can
very
do that on
streamlined.
Koala Go. You
Koala
can
Go,
do
yeah.
that on Koala Go too.
Yep.
Um,
I think Koala
and
Go is not integrated yet with the Google Calendar, right? If I remember right. It's
I
on
don't
the
know.
I
I
can't
don't know.
remember. I know I
Um,
asked. I can't remember what I said.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I will say Koala Go's support team, they are on the ball. I had a few problems when I was testing it out, and I was in class, they responded right away. We worked through the problem. I will say their technical support is really good.
They are on the ball, and
Yeah.
that also has to do with them being on the scene a little bit longer too. And they
Yeah.
offer a
Yeah.
different experience, and it's a good experience. I mean, again, if
Very
I was
smooth.
starting out, I would probably have both of them and have whatever student liked which
Mhm.
platform better. That'd be a great way instead of paying for, something like Zoom if you didn't have
Right.
adults. I'd pay for the two.
I think it's a reasonable cost. I I I think Koala goes like $27 a month, and I'm not sure how much Fun Class is because I bought in initially a few months ago and I just paid for a whole year up front.
Well, it's in euros, but I think in dollars, I think it was right around that 24, 25. It was pretty comparable.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're almost the same price.
It was
It's not
almost
enough
it
to
was a few dollars
it wouldn't
difference.
sway the price wouldn't sway me one way or the other if that was one of the things.
But both are
We
really
also
good. So
yeah, they're both I would use either one of them. I think that Fun Class is a little bit more fun. That pet and the reward system is really amazing. The kids really like it. Qualigo isn't quite as fun in the class. It's not quite as they don't have the pets and the reward system and
it
all
seems
that.
to me like the feeling I got from Koala Go is it actually fit better with like that tween and above
Yeah,
demographic
I
because it
could
was like a
see
mind
that.
class almost type,
Yeah.
the
Well, that's the
Minecraft.
playground.
Yeah, the
That's the
playground.
playground.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And we also have a new addition to our Hall of Fame. She's actually been a guest on here before. Um, One of my favorite people on the internet is Jillian. Um, she is a teacher, she's a coach. Um, she does a lot for the community for free. She does a lot for the community for free. Um, she, she helps people setting up their business. Um, she doesn't really do like branding like you do. She's different. She's different. She's more of the setting up the backside and the I wouldn't say she does some social media stuff with people, but she doesn't really teach social media. You got to figure out how to make those posts yourself. Um, I copied some of her posts actually. That did they did really well on Xiao Hong Shu. They did really well.
Little Red
Um,
Book.
yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, that's who we're going with this month, I think. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think she does a lot for the community as well. She's not all about, the almighty dollar. She does a
Right.
lot of service to the teacher community. She
Mhm.
gives out a lot of help. Um, I believe she have a group as well, right?
Yes, she has two groups. One is for anybody can join it, and let me find it. It is online teacher and success and support.
We'll put it in
We'll
the
put a link.
link.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description. She also has a paid group called Teacher Boss Society. That's where you get the really good information in there. And it's very inexpensive. Um, I think, and I don't know for sure, I don't remember, but I think it's 20 to $30 a month. Used to be 10, but that was when she was getting it off the ground. I would recommend both of those groups to anybody, especially those just starting out.
Mhm.
There's a lot, she gives away a lot of free information. She created almost like a checklist, but not quite a checklist that had these are like the basic things you need to do to start teaching online. It's free. It's free. I'll put a link to that in the description as well.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody that we think of because we have a list of people, and it's a hard choice for us every time we try to.
Right.
The last two times we've done it, and the people that we've thought of just really active,
They
and they
right.
really just give away so
They
much compared to others.
I was one of the things I pay attention to is they show up to these lives that aren't theirs and they're really supportive, even though it's not their business, it's not doesn't benefit them, but they're really supportive. And that's one of the things I look at. There's another one that'll be coming soon. I won't name her name or his name, his or her name, whatever, um, that will be coming soon as well. Um, we need to bring that one on the podcast, I think, at some point as well.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. So again, if anybody has any recommendations on somebody, a webs, a company, whatever it is, that you think should be on the Hall of Fame, definitely send it to us. Put it in the comments. We
please,
would love to check them out and give people credit where credit is due. Really.
please do. We have our circle that we communicate with, and right now it's been within our circle, but I would love somebody without it, with that's outside of our circle. I would love that.
Exactly. Or even somebody you don't really know, but they keep popping up on your feed or in other platforms that you're on, like, I hate to say Reddit, but that type of thing.
I love Reddit.
I
It's a
know,
cesspool.
I know,
It's a
right? But
cesspool.
people talk, and it's not always all negative. Some people are talking about how great somebody else is, and
Yeah,
if you come across something like that, send it our way.
please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
So, and what else did we talk about? Oh, we had Ronnie,
We had Ronnie. Ronnie was an
the teacher
agent
agent.
from, yeah, he, that didn't go like we wanted it to do. He was more focused on talking about placing teachers within schools and homes, where we wanted to more talk about the online stuff. We, we were like this round hole, square peg type thing. The other agent that we wanted to come on, she panicked. She panicked.
She got
And
a bit shy about it. It was funny. It was cute. She's really nice though,
yeah,
and but I have to say it was nice having him on because it kind of put like a face to the experience where
right,
not all agents are bad. Not all
right,
of them are going to pay you pittance.
right.
Like there are those that are, above board, recognize your credentials and you know,
Yep.
your service.
Ronnie,
Mm,
Ronnie pays great.
yeah.
Never had, he pays a good wage. He pays on time. There's never a discrepancy there.
Yeah.
Um,
The other one, she's always paid me on time either,
yep.
as well.
Never had a
Sorry.
problem with her either.
Yeah,
Never had a problem with her.
and the thing I like is the non micromanagement, the recognition that you know what you're
Right.
doing.
Right.
Here's the
You
students. Here's what we want you to teach. Go at it.
right. Teach it, be done. Be
Right.
done.
As long as we don't get complaints, we are okay with what you do. I like these people.
Right. Right. Me too.
It's hilarious.
Me too.
All right. So, um, Wall of Shame.
Dun dun
I
dun.
know, right? We feel like we should. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So I hate to say this, but man, our Hall of Shame winner last week has taken up a second spot. There were things we did not cover that we thought of later and went, oh, we should have talked about that.
So what
Oh,
are they? What are these things?
well, number one. Well, no, we'll start with this one. I'll leave the best for last. But one of the issues that we have with Cambly is getting on to even get to the
Yeah, that
students.
damn speed test. Oh my God.
I hate that thing. And it cracks me up because with what's such little requirements to be able to teach there, they have the highest requirements for you to be able to get into the platform, yet their
Right.
students don't.
Now, just so you guys know, Nicole and I both live in the Philippines. We both have a 1 gigabyte internet connection, which is not common in the Philippines. Not common.
We
It's as fast
pay.
as you're gonna get,
Yeah.
you know.
And you
And
do your speed test and you're rocking.
but when you do Cambly speed test, you're not rocking.
No, you are not. And what's terrible about it is I'll use a VPN for the country I'm in,
Right. And
Philippines,
it'll pass.
and it'll pass. And I'm just sitting there going, now make that make sense. I was like,
Now, that can possibly be the ISP as well,
that
maybe,
too, yes.
but I don't buy it.
I can't buy it because I'll use 3, 4 different speed tests and I'm rocking,
And not only that, sometimes I use 4 different platforms in a day to
right?
teach on. I have
Yeah.
no problems. I have no problems.
I'm just saying, I do the same. And I'm just like, what? I'll use Zoom, Voov, ClassIn. There's another one. What's the other one? Oh, Amazing Talker has one, right? They have their
That's
own
Zoom.
little. Nah,
But
but
they
they
use,
they they do have a platform that
yeah,
sometimes
they
will
do have,
pop up,
right,
which is annoying. That's another one we got to talk
right.
about. But and then you go to Cambly and you're like, what?
I can't, like, I
It's
taught 8 hours today. Why can't I pass the Cambly speed test?
or you passed it earlier just so you didn't have the difficulty when it because I will
Mhm,
schedule classes sometimes just because I need to fill up hours somewhere or somebody's
mhm.
canceled and I need to fill up some time real fast. And you're scheduled for like a priority hour or something. And you've already done it. And then you come back into it and you need to do it again. And you're like, how did I get kicked out? I've already done it.
Right,
Or you've done it like 10 minutes ago and it kicks you out and you got to do it again. And you're like, wait, huh?
right.
Yeah. So that's a big one. The next one, we get to do the almighty screen share.
Oh, yes.
I know, right? So let me get that up because I got all that ready to go. Screen share, screen. Yes, screen
This
2.
one, this one, we were just in disbelief when we discovered this.
This is crazy.
So,
Crazy.
Nichole, what are we looking at here?
Ah, wow. Okay, good one. Thanks. So we
That was my
decided,
lead in.
I know, right? Okay, so we decided to, yes, use our wonderful VPN and incognito to check out the prices around the world. And this is the euro setting. And this is what Cambly is charging for 1 hour a week. So we just did 1 hour a week. It was easy, 4 hours a month, right?
And we're assuming most people pay monthly instead of every 3 months or every year.
So we just decided it was easier just to make it the same across the board.
Mhm.
So we did 1 hour a week monthly. Okay. So 1 hour a week can be 2 30-minute classes depending on where the location is, right?
Right.
But just 1 hour across the board. And we put it back into dollars. So this is euros. So they're charging 160 a month. If you divide that by 4, we're talking about 41.88 a month because I had to put it back into dollars. Okay.
Right.
And, just to be transparent, I put it into dollars. So that works out to be 167 a month. Right. And here we are.
Now, this is for where?
This we were looking for the euro one because it popped up one time in your feed when you did
Right.
it, and we went to a couple countries, and so it turned up in France. I
Okay.
found
So,
this price. This
yeah,
is
why was I
France.
getting a European price when I'm in the
I
Philippines?
have no idea, but I went and found it real quick before we
Yeah.
got on, and I found it. So this one, if you pop in on France, this will be the price. And mind you, they pay us per minute,
Mhm.
per minute, and it works out at 17 cents a minute, right?
So, what
So
is divide this by 60? Let's see what this is per minute. 41.88.
41.88. Thank you. I already cleared it.
That's okay.
41.88. And we're going to divide that by 60.
70
60
cents a minute is what they're
and
charging.
17 cents a minute. And mind
Right.
you, from we did unofficially kind of poll people who have been on Cambly longer than we have. I've been on
Mhm.
like almost 5 years. You've been on about the same. And we found people that have been on longer. And everybody has said that has been basically the price that
One
they've
guy told me
paid.
10 years. One guy told me 10 years.
Yeah. So our consensus is that teachers have been making 17 cents a minute since the inception.
Mhm.
That's unless somebody can tell us otherwise, we're going to go off that information. Okay. So we've got 17 times 60. So y'all can see how much that is. That's $10 an hour, 10.2. Okay.
Yep.
And this was 41.88. 10 point, and the rates have gone up in 10 years multiple times. And that's what it is now.
Right. But
And yet,
your pay has not, Cambly teachers.
right? Okay. Now let's check out some of the other places, just to be fair. All right. And there we go. Like I said, handy dandy. I had screen share ready to go. All right. I got to move you and me out of the screen so I can see. All right. So we did, so let's just run through them. We went through mostly we did some research on basically like the top 6 to 10 countries for Cambly, right? So it's a same here. We got every month. We have 1 hour a week. So Brazil, I did back into dollars, ended up being about 18.42 an hour. Okay.
That's what the students charged.
That's what the students are
Right.
charged, right? Now, look at the disparity in price between countries, though. I mean,
Right. This is
wow.
a $10 an hour when they're only charging 18 in Brazil. That's actually reasonable to me.
That's reasonable. That's okay. So there's no smoking gun here on this one.
Mhm.
And then we come down here to like Japan, right? 1 hour a week. That's how much they're paying a month. So we did the conversion and they're paying 21.40.
Still close. We're close.
Mind you, when we get close to 24, now I have teachers at
Mhm.
24. Yes. At 24, my teachers make more than $10 an hour. And I'm a
Right.
private small company. Okay. Cambly's much bigger with higher volume.
And the point to note on that is Cambly has the benefit of basically economy to scale. They have a lot more students, so their back office pricing is much less per student than yours is.
And I pay sole proprietor
Right.
taxes in America, which is much higher than a company. So we
Right.
are the highest tax bracket. So I am paying an insane amount of taxes compared to them. And yes, I'm a licensed LLC. So here we're hitting about when I first brought on teachers, this is pretty close to what I was after taxes and everything. This is
Mhm.
basically like, this is before taxes. This is what we were getting at. This is pretty
Mhm.
close. And my teachers make more than that.
And this is in this is
Turkey.
in Turkey.
This is in Turkey,
Interesting that they charge more in Turkey than they do in Japan.
right? Or I know,
France.
right? Look, the France one is killing me. I'm sorry.
Right.
But 23, my teachers all started at 12
Right.
with incentive pay.
Mm-hmm.
They get an extra dollar an hour for adults and an extra dollar an hour for homework. Okay.
And the reason this is relevant is because Turkey is not they don't make a lot of money there. The
They
people
don't.
don't have money compared to Japan
And
or
this is a high area for Cambly.
Yep.
This is a big portion of their students. All right. So we've got the 3 that we did here. And then let's go into Korea. Korea, okay, per month, right? 1 hour. Korea's doing 30. And again, these are their top clientele. Okay. This is off of their own website information. We had a deep dive for it, but it's there. So they're doing at 30. Taiwan is at 23. And now the other one was, what was it? Iraq. Was it Iraq?
no UAE.
No. The one
UAE.
I was supposed to do, Iraq.
Oh, you were supposed to do Saudi Arabia.
Saudi, that's right. But I don't have a VPN for Saudi, so I chose UAE instead. And they're at
Right.
23.
The
Which surprised
other one,
me that they are less they're at that price compared to
right.
like, Korea and
UAE is not a poor country by any stretch of the imagination.
but what's amazing to me is that at these were prices as of yesterday. Okay, you can see
Right.
the time that I took these conversions on the 25th. This is the price as of yesterday, and these are the current rates with raises. Like they've increased their rates.
Right. They haven't been this
And so
for 10 years.
yeah, right. And they haven't raised ours. So it makes me wonder, what was your profit margin when you started and were paying us this rate and they were charging less to their students? Now you're charging more to the students. what is your profit margin now compared to then for you not to give the parents, the teachers a raise?
Right.
What overhead has changed to justify increasing the students, but not the teachers?
The the other country we couldn't get because you can't get a VPN in
China.
is China. We couldn't. You can't set your VPN to China. So we got Taiwan instead.
Ooh, I wonder if I can ask one of my Chinese parents.
We could ask Ronnie.
Oh, we
No,
could, couldn't we?
no, don't ask Ronnie. Don't ask Ronnie.
Oh no, no, that's right. I have a couple. I didn't think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
screen sharing so we can talk. But anyways, I don't know. So it wasn't as big of a smoking gun, although the France one did tip me off there. What I couldn't understand was how did they come up with their pay scale? Because some of these countries are paying more when economically they should be paying less, cost of
Right.
living
Like
wise. Like
Japan and Korea and
Korea
Japan.
should be
Korea was
paying.
paying 30, right? That seems reasonable. That's a going rate. But Japan, $18 an hour is all they're paying. Why? Why Japan?
Well, and and there, like I said, there's a couple of them. Um, to be fair, even Taiwan, that's low.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
They
a
were
pretty.
23. I charge more than that
I charge more than that.
to people in Taiwan.
But, I was looking at what I used to charge when I first brought on teachers,
Hmm.
after discounts, because most of my parents would buy during some kind of discount. So it brought the rate down. It was around 23, 24 after all the discounts and the free lessons and stuff like that. And I was paying more and I am in a higher tax bracket.
Hmm.
Right. And I have
Right.
more overhead than they do because I can't get those corporate accounts and those corporate discounts and all
Right.
the other little benefits they've got. And I pay a VA and I pay for help and I've got all the other stuff. So, and I pay more.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. They haven't done anything for for me to ever remove them from this list. I'm
I know,
just
I
not.
know. I know people are
I'm
probably disappointed we should have somebody else, but I'm sorry. They creeped up to number 2 as well. Me
right.
and me and Jay are having an argument about the other one.
Yes. Why don't we discuss that? Why don't we talk about that?
there
Amazing talker.
there's my segue.
Segue to our sponsor.
Oh, I know, right? You know, mm, so me and Jay have a disagreement on this one. So you can weigh in. Amazing Talker. Now, I do like that they have okay, they have a fee scale, right? So they have a base fee that everybody gets charges, which I really disagree with, but there's a minimum of an 8%. They're charging you the taxes and to transfer. Now, I disagree with that just because
You're
even as an
me.
employer, um, I pay for the transfer. So I understand some of that. So I think it's a little high, the 8%. That's the base pay, no matter what, the base fee. They're passing on a fee that they should be paying themselves, but even at a half, it should be 4. It should be like a split. But they have a fee scale. It starts at 30% and it can go down to 0. It can. I mean, that is a
Yep.
good thing. But Jay is more versed on that. So I'll let him explain that and then I'll weigh in on why I think they should be spot 3.
Okay. So basically, on Amazing Talker, when you start the month, every month you start fresh. Your fee, every time somebody takes a class, they take out 30%. But as you teach throughout the month, every time you make $100, it gets reduced by 1%. You can get it to 0. When I was working there, I got mine to 0 a few times. Generally, I would pay like on normal months, I would pay 5%. I would pay 5%. Um, and the thought is that, it's too much. It's too much. The only way to be successful on a platform like Amazing Talker, Preply,
Yep.
I don't know what other ones, italki, maybe that's the same way. I'm not sure.
Verbal Planet, I
Is,
believe.
yeah, you have to go all in. You have to teach there 100% of the time. You have to build it. They're not going to help you. It's a more like a teacher marketplace than anything. It's not a school. You bring your own materials, all that. Um, but the 30% is tough. And if you're not willing to go all in, if you want to split your time between 4 or 5 companies, it's not the place for you. It's just not the place.
See, now that's where I think they should be on it, because it's not really zero. You still have that 8%, which that one
Mhm.
irks me all the time. That one irks
Well,
me
but
so
when
bad.
you collect
But
payment from people, you're losing 5% anyways.
I know, but that's not eight though, is it?
No, but they have fees. I don't have a
Well,
problem with
I
the
still get a
8%.
fee though when they pay me. I still have to pay some of those fees. But anyways,
Mhm.
I think it's a little much. But even if the 8%, if that's all it was, okay, fine, whatever. But the 30%, this bothers me a lot because it's a marketplace where
Mhm.
I have to get the students. I have to provide the curriculum. I have to do all the interactions. So they're just providing a place for me to put my face. And
Right.
so my I'm upset because most of us don't go to one place anymore because of what happened with the double reduction. We all know better.
Right.
You don't put all your eggs in one basket. And because it's such a large marketplace, it takes forever and a year to
Yeah.
build up. I would be happier with them starting at 15, but making it where when you go down
Every
that 1%, it's 200 instead of
right.
100.
I would be I would be 100% okay with that as well.
I I personally
I
think
would
they're
be
just taking advantage of the fact that
right.
people need the platform, and they're taking advantage to the point of being just, I want to say another
And
word but I can't say it. But
oh, and by the way, if you teach on Amazing Talker, you are not supposed to be teaching anywhere else.
you're
Just
not
if
supposed to be.
anybody's right. Most people do though. Most people do.
I would like
Right.
to see them be able to enforce that one like any other company does when they try to say
Well,
that.
they just remove you from the platform. That's
That's
it.
yeah, I mean that's what they do.
That's
But like I said, it's one of those. The website is crap though. I mean, like it's so hard to
it's a hot
navigate.
mess.
It's like
It's a
I
hot
still
mess.
can't figure it out. You should have saw me trying to figure out how to get paid. I'm like, wait, it doesn't automatic. It goes to credits. And that took me forever to figure out.
Right.
And it's and they don't. Oh, it's a hot mess, man. It's such a mess. Um, the nice thing though, I mean, the thing I do like is you can teach on different platforms with them. As of now, that might change. Um,
Right.
you know,
You can
um,
use your own Zoom or Tencent or
Yeah. Now I
Skype.
like that because I pay for Zoom. I have the AI summary. So I
Mhm.
like to give that out sometimes as the memo for older kids instead of doing the whole shebang, right? Um, oh, the other reason that I wanted to nominate them was they changed their procedure for new teachers. So you can't just put whatever price you want like you're supposed to. You have to
That was a
do
while ago, though. That was a while ago.
yeah, but I didn't know that until I was
Right.
testing it out. And it's like you're stuck at 15. They're taking 30% plus the 8%, which you never get rid of. So even if you go down to zero, it's still the 8%.
Now, oh,
I ended up
the
making
fee
less than
structure.
Cambly.
Right. Well, yeah, that sucks. The fee structure, when you're priced at $15 or below, instead of every $100 you make, reducing it by 1%,
I think
it's
it's like
based on
50.
how many hours.
Yeah.
It's based, so every time you teach 6 hours, it reduces it by 1%.
Wish I got
Um,
down to 29. Woo! I love testing this stuff
but
out.
Amazing Talker also has the mentor program, which I think needs to be reworked.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's a
I
little high.
I'm I'm a mentor there. I'm not teaching there anymore though, but I reached mentor and whew, man, it's really hard. You might try and talk to 100 people, maybe four of them will respond, and maybe one of them is somebody you want to bring on your team. The mentor system is, I think it's broken right now. I think it's
Yeah.
broken.
Like I said, that's the reasons why I thought they should have earned a spot. Maybe we'll revisit that for maybe I'll do a half for number two. Maybe I'll override. Oh, I don't know.
There's no, you can't do half.
I
You
know,
got to
right?
go all in.
I
Just what is
know.
this
But
half
that's what
stuff?
I felt though, because like I said,
Are you
I
from
just
Switzerland?
ah. But it was just a combination of those things because they made it I just felt like they were just really taking advantage. There's another word I want to say and I can't say it and it's driving me crazy. It's a word I want to say, starts with an R. It's really crass.
It's okay.
They're just
It's not
ripping you
PG.
bad. They're just ripping you bad. I try not to say it, but yeah, that was my opinion. It is true though, if you do well and you can get past, the 100-hour requirement, put up your fee, which knocks you off on a lot of students though, and then if you're able to really bring it in, yeah, you can get it down. It has that potential. I'm not going to take
Mhm.
away that fact. But the fact of the matter is because it's so oversaturated, getting to that level is almost unrealistic. And the fees that they're starting you at is also really, I really think it is almost highway robbery. They have the client base to start at 15%, but make you work double the money to come
Right.
down.
So at least maybe you're a part-timer and at least you're not losing that 15%. Well, for you, you would have paid maybe 14% this month instead.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because it's not my platform.
Right.
I'm not doing I'm not handling the payments. They're paying me when I want to take out. I can use them for the reach. So I mean, I'm okay with that. To me, that's completely fair. And also the ability to knock it down from 15%. I have to do 200, 200, 200. Yeah. I mean, to me, that is a very reasonable fee structure. I'm really against that 30% plus the eight because you never get rid of the eight.
Right.
So, there's always that 8%, which is higher than if you were doing it yourself, which again, I am okay with if it's starting at the 15.
All
Because
right.
they are capping you at the $15 an hour also. And you have to
Right.
do the 100 hours to get past.
Right.
So, which can be a chore. Anyways. All
Okay.
right. Next month.
So we will beat that horse next month.
I know, right?
Uh,
I think I've already made my
what's
case.
coming up this month? What are we doing this month?
I believe this month is the parent month, right?
Mhm.
Yes. And for the parent month, we've got some surprises coming in store because we've decided that we want to change it up a bit. So I think we're going to leave it a bit of a mystery. We like our investigative series. So we're going to have our end of the month recap with our Hall of Fame, Wall of Shame. We're really liking this. We also have our
Yeah.
investigative series. So we're going to go like every other week with a guest. So 1 week on, 1 week off. This seems to be doing really well. So if you have suggestions for the investigative series, definitely let us know.
Or a guest. If
Our
you want to be a
guest.
guest,
Yeah,
we'll
you
see
want to
where
be a
we can
guest,
get you.
send us a message.
Yep.
We're still kicking around the racism topic.
Yeah, but just not, people don't want to come on and talk about it.
I know, and I really want to do that one. And I think,
Me too.
hey, if you're listening to this and you are interested in doing this one, or you know somebody who would like to, send them our way. We really want
Please
to
do.
talk about this. We think it's very, very vital and something that, needs to be aired. Um, the other topic that we have is maybe supporting kids with academic disabilities in the classroom or online. I think online, though, I think is where we want to go because obvious.
Mhm.
But how are teachers managing that? What are the difficulties that we encounter? Um, what are the modern suggestions for that? So maybe we'll get somebody who works in that field and we can talk about it.
I think I have somebody.
All
I
right.
think I think I might have somebody.
Maybe I'll put it out in my teachers group if maybe we can get maybe a two-person panel on that or something. I don't
Sure.
know. Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's important because I do specifically help students with ADHD just because it runs in my family and I have my own kids with it and I do a lot of kids with that. I have a couple that are autistic. Um, I have a couple that struggle with mutism. Um, I've done that in the past. Uh, that's pretty much been the extent of what I've dealt with. And when I've some of the ADHD kids I have now are very high, like top 10 percentile. They're very, very high on that scale. Um, but those are the ones that I think most of us interact with online, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know about any others. Oh, I have a kid that's dyslexic.
Oh,
That's an interesting class. Um, Not interesting because of his disability, but because I had to restructure things. So it made it interesting for me to restructure that class a bit to come up with the different ways of teaching it, which was fun for me. Um,
mhm.
So yeah, I if anybody has suggestions on somebody in that field, send it our way as well. We will definitely be monitoring the comments to see if anything pops up. Yep. Hmm. What do you think, Jay? I almost said Mac because it says J Mac.
Yeah, the racism one, that is just, I want to do that one so badly, but I don't, it's hard to find people that are willing to come on and talk about
Yep.
it. The the other one with the uh, kids with learning disabilities or academic challenges, that that's pretty common. I don't deal with that very much. I don't deal with that very much. So,
I have a
um,
few. I think word of mouth got around that I was able to deal with that. And so that's where I've gotten a few from that arena. I don't know. We might, depends on who we get.
right.
So it might change around. So that's why I said this month is a little bit up in the air. We're not really solid on what we're doing yet.
We still haven't brought on a parent. I would still be interested in doing that.
Yes, I would definitely. Mm,
Or the kids. We still haven't brought the kids on yet.
that's the one I'd love to do. I would love to bring the kids on and just talk about what they like and don't like about online teaching.
Yeah, just let them
Just
go.
let them go. Like, just be like, have at it. You know?
You know, the problem with doing the kids is the timing, because the times we're available to record the podcast, they're in school, or
We would
it's
have
too
to do it
late
on
at
the
night,
weekend, I think. We'd have to do it on a weekend.
or in the summer.
Ah, there's another spot. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, I have about three kids who have no issues talking publicly.
same here. I got
Yeah.
several.
And
Yeah.
and I've one of them is extremely opinionated and vocal. She is definitely entertainment. She'll send me videos. Like I'll do video, like I'll ask them to do video homework, and I know I'm going to get something really awesome out of this kid. And she'll do full, I have to show you, she'll do full on skits and play all the parts herself and splice them in. It is the coolest stuff. I just laugh. Oh my God, this kid is amazing. I love it. She's got to come on. I can just picture it. I'm sorry.
So what did you pick up from this month? What was a tip for you that helped you, or something just insightful?
I liked having Ronnie on. I did. I know it wasn't where we wanted it to go, but I did
Mhm.
like having him on just for the fact
Yeah,
that it put a face to
an
the
agent.
interest and agent. Yeah.
It's they're real people.
Yeah.
You know, they have
And
this.
I've experienced ones who wanted to pay me pittance, and I've experienced
Just
the good ones. So I think it was good to bring in the good side of that.
yeah, yeah.
I really liked the updates that Yan had. I think that was amazing. I was all gaga over that. When I saw that, I was like, woohoo. And then I was like, man, I've already got a fully functioning website and have to migrate everybody. But
I was um the the costs behind the teacher project.
yeah,
Elliot Phillips, we're
we need you.
calling you out again. We want you on here, buddy. I want to learn about this. And Nichole has volunteered to be your test subject.
I have. Let's go. I am all for it. 100%. I'm
But
still
yeah,
shocked at the sticker price for teachers. That was,
yeah,
if they can do what they say, though, it
it's
would
worth it.
be worth the
If
investment. I
yeah,
would put it on. I mean, but I don't feel like there's a strong enough guarantee behind it, because why would I take the risk of putting that on my credit card or taking out a personal loan for that? Because that has been
right,
recommended.
right.
I don't know. I think our month had a lot of different things that I thought about.
Mhm.
The teacher project, though, I really want to talk to somebody badly.
Can be a teacher that used it, somebody from your team, Elliot, or it can be you.
Yeah. Because I'm serious. If it's for real, yeah, I'm going to be touting that everywhere because that's amazing.
And and like I said in the Teacher Project podcast, nothing. It would be a completely professional
Oh, yeah.
podcast. We're not gonna We wouldn't be derogatory in any way. We just want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, we might ask some tough questions, but it's not like
Right.
we're not going to come across as you're the scammer. No, it's I
Right.
really do actually really want to know if this works.
We'll do
And
that
like,
afterwards.
oh yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Yeah, let's come onto the podcast. You know,
We'll talk about you behind your back.
oh my gosh. But I really do want to know though, that I am very
Yep.
intrigued because I don't see anybody else really with the reach, the level of the effort that he's put into just the promotions and the website
Right.
and the the videos. I mean, it's all slick and well done. And
Right.
that to me shows that they have the money behind it to do that. They
I
have the
did get
team
an
behind
email
it.
with a typo the other day from Elliot.
Oh, the first time,
From
huh? Because
the
you said they were pretty
I got
slick.
yeah, I did get a typo in the email, just so you know.
Oh, just I know. Okay. Hey, Elliot, your team's slacking. So but I am very interested. So that's why I said this next month's up in the air because I think we have a couple choices we need to nail down before we go
Right.
to the next one.
It's supposed to be a parent month, and it's going to be parent month-ish, is what I would
Yeah,
say.
because we're also looking at season 3 because we've come up with the new format where it's like one on, one off for
Mhm.
people, right? Having people on. So we might relook the format for, business, teacher, parent. We might
Mhm.
relook that and just do it as an all-in-one type of thing and always make sure, or
Yeah.
maybe just when it's parent specific podcast, we notified the next time. I don't know. We'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, any takeaways that you want to add or anything you want to add before we wrap this puppy up? Because I got to make lunch. Oh, did we freeze again?
Anybody here?
I don't know, but I was talking to myself apparently for a couple seconds. I'm I'm
I
I'm
was. It was frozen. It was
I'm
frozen.
interested to see what the video says.
I just sat here. I'm like, I just heard, well, and, and then you froze. You were like
Nice.
this.
Just so you know, it is all real. We don't edit.
Right. Right.
We take off the
It goes
beginning for
out
the
as,
countdown, and there we go.
yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
And tune in next month. See you.
See you later.